Very nice. We have an opportunity with the Hebrew in the book of Samuel to dig a little deeper in terms of bringing out the actual meanings of words. And we're developing a methodology which enables us to pick out the roots of verbal forms, and likewise to pick out the stems of nouns. And taking these roots that we identify and taking these stems of nouns, we're able to go into a dictionary and actually look up words. And that's very exciting because that process is essentially translation. And that's what we really are all looking forward to in our studies, is the ability to translate the verses for ourselves, or at least to cross-check the translations that we're using and see if we can come up with better meanings or more clear meanings for ourselves. So we're on the book of Samuel, first book of Samuel, chapter 4, verse 6. And let us first read the verse, and then let us translate the verse, and then let's do a little bit of this analysis after we've gotten the big picture. And once more, Joseph, I'll ask you kindly to read the verse for us, and then I will translate.
Okay. Vaish meu Pelishtim et kol hatrua vayomru me kol hatrua hagdola hazot b'makhanei ha'ivrim vayed'u ki Aaron Yahweh Ba'el Hamachane.
Beautiful. Very nice. The translation, Vayishma'u Philishtim. The Philistines heard et kol hatrua, the voice of shouting, Vayomru, and they said, Met kol hatrua hagdolah hazot. What is this great shouting? B'machane ha'ivrim, in the camp of the Hebrews. Vayedu ki Aron Adonai ba el hamachane, and they knew that the ark of God had come into the camp. One of the techniques we can use is to identify all the instances of ha. August, do you remember what ha means in Hebrew? The little prefix hey patach ha. Do you recall what that means, August?
Ha plus patach equal ha.
Right. And it means the. Like the boy is ha yeled, the girl is ha yalda, the cat is ha chalutz or ha chatul, the dog is ha kelev. Ha means the.
Ha.
Right. So if you see ha, you at the beginning of a word, it usually means the.
On the. Okay.
Right. Let me write that. Let me write that just in case. So, ha, he, patach, equals da. So if we isolate all the instances of ha, sometimes it can be hey kamats also. Generally, we know that it's in front of a noun. Ha kelev, the dog. Ha yeled, the boy. It's in front of a noun. So by getting rid of the ha, we have the noun available to us to look up. Am I being clear, Joseph, or could I explain this better?
You are clear.
Okay.
Yes.
So for example, we have hatrua. What is the word that we would like to look up in the dictionary? Hatrua. What is the word that we would look up?
Through a, because the ha is
You
the
got it.
article.
Right. Ha is the definite article in front of trua. So let's look up trua just for fun. I hope we're not stuck here. Seems we are a little stuck here. Let's back up a little bit. All right, we're a little stuck here, so I won't waste too much time here. But that's the correct answer. We have hatrua. The word we would look up is trua, and trua means a shouting. So the shouting, hatrua. Then we have hagdola. So Agus, what would be the noun that we're going to look up in the dictionary in the word hagdola?
Hello.
Yes, I hear you.
Yadolah.
Very good.
Because ha is an article.
I'm so thrilled and proud. So Gidola is the word we want to look up. Gidola. Unfortunately, we're having a little technical difficulty with the browser right now. I'm having a little trouble with the network. But Gidola means greatness. Hagdola is this greatness, or the greatness hazot. Hagdola hazot is this greatness. B'machane ha'ivrim. Joseph, ha'ivrim. What is the noun that we would be looking up?
Because the ha is the article there.
Right. So we would be looking up ivrim.
Can I guess the meaning?
Yes, please do, brother.
Ivrim.
Yeah. Ivrim.
Hebrew.
Right. The Hebrews. Right. Let me reshare. And interestingly, Maria, this word ivrim. Are you still with us, Maria?
Yes.
Cool. This word Ivrim, that means Hebrew, is derived from the root avar, which means to cross or to pass over.
Okay.
So the association is with the origins of the Jews, which was on the other side of the Jordan River, on the Iraq, Iran, Mesopotamia side, and that they crossed over the Aron, the Arnak, and the Jordan, ultimately the Jordan. They crossed over 3 rivers on their journey, not from Egypt. Actually, yes, from Egypt also. But even originally, Abraham crossed over rivers when he left his hometown to go into Israel. And then when the Jews left Egypt, again, they crossed the Arnon, the Arnak, and the Jordan. So this idea of Ivrim is the people that crossed over. That's the origin or the etymology of that word, Ivrim, ha-Ivrim, the ones that crossed over.
Okay.
So this is some of the work that we do to break down the verse and begin to get meanings out of the verse. And I'll continue to share this work with you. August, now that we're a little bit more warmed up, why don't we just try once more the first line of the next verse, verse Zion, verse 7, starting with Vayir'u.
Vayir'u ha Filistim.
Very nice.
Okay. Kina Kia Iam Roh
Amru.
Amru huruf Amru ba a Elohim.
Very nice. 2 more words.
Ha ma kaneh.
Say it once more.
Ha ma kaneh.
There you go. Nice. And then I'll continue. Vayomru oilanu, kilo haisa kazos esmol shilshom. Vayir'u ha-plishtim. And the Philistines were sore afraid. Kiamru, and they said, Ba Elohim el hamachaneh. God has come into the camp. Vayomru, and they said, Oy lanu. They said, woe to us. Kilo haisa kazos. There has never been anything like this, esmol shilshom, for time eternal. And it continues, Oy lanu, woe is us. Mi yatzilenu, who shall save us? Miyad ha-Elohim ha-Adirim ha-Ela. Now get this translation, Joseph. Mi yatzilenu, who shall save us? Miyad ha-Elohim ha-Adirim ha-Ela. From the hands of these mighty gods. From the hand of these mighty gods. Elohim ha-Elohim. For they are truly the gods, Hamakim et Mitzrayim, that smote Egypt, b'chol makah, with every plague, every plague bamidbar, in the desert. So the astute reader of Hebrew sees a big problem here, in that we have a plural form, Miad ha-Elohim ha-Adirim, from the hand of the mighty gods, Ha'ela. But isn't it just the one mighty God, Joseph? How could it be many gods? So this isn't an easy one, Joseph. This isn't necessarily an easy one to answer. And usually the English translator will cover over this problem. Because if you translate it purely, it's not Miad Elohim. When the Bible wants to use Elohim for God's name, it just says, would just say Miad Elohim. But here we have Miad ha-Elohim, from the hand of the gods, ha-Adirim, the mighty gods.
So there is article when it comes to other gods.
Right. You're spot on. So the question is, do the Philistines recognize that it's the hand of Yahweh, or do they think it's the hands of the various gods that they worship, and they're not recognizing that it's the hand of Yahweh? That could be one problem.
They don't believe in Yahweh. They believe in gods. So they counted Yahweh as one of gods.
Of their gods, right.
Yes.
And we recall also, just as they placed the Holy Ark next to Dagon, you remember from a previous class this idea of Dagon, which was one of their gods. So they considered Elohim as one God among many, rather than the only true God.
Yes.
So the rabbis take another approach, though. I think this is the wisdom here of the rabbis. Ushma'u Filistei Yaskol Yabava. And the Philistines heard the sound of shouting, Va'amaru, and they said, Ma kol Yabava Rabba Hadain, what is this great shouting? V'mashrisa Hudaye, in the camp of the Israelites. Vida'u are arona dashem asa mashrisa. And they knew that the ark of God had come into the camp. Udchilu flishtaye, and they were are amaru, and they said, Asa arona dashem mashrisa. The ark of God has come into the camp, va'amaru, and they said, Vailana, woe is us, are lo havas kahada me ismile. There has never been anything like this for time eternal. Umikadamohi. Vailana, woe is us, man yishes vinana, who shall save us? Miad memra dashem. So the rabbis solved the problem and recognized even an additional problem, which they also solved. The rabbis believed that there was a tradition that indeed the Philistines were recognizing at this point nature, the one God, and they didn't know how to articulate that. Still using Elohim, Ha-Elohim, Adirim, the mighty gods. But the rabbis translate into the Aramaic, Miyad Memra Dashem, from the hand of the word of God, that actually the Philistines were at this point recognizing that there was only one true God. And not only that, but there's a concern about talking about the hand of God. What is the problem with us saying, Joseph, the hand of God? Do you see any problem with that, the hand of God? Why could that be considered a problem?
The hand of God.
Yeah, or August, do you have any idea why the rabbis felt there was some problem with the idea of the hand of God?
Yeah, because God is,
Idolatry.
according to Hebrew, invisible, right?
Right.
Because
Yes.
some like a creature. I mean,
Very good. Do you sort of get the problem, Maria? We're sort of trying to make God into like a man, or to have like human features, but really God is invisible and transcends, the idea of a physical man. Do you get the idea there a little bit?
Yeah.
So in a way, saying the hand of God almost like limits our idea of God in a way. You could almost say it's disrespectful, or it's not expansive enough for how we understand God. So the rabbis would put in this word memra, word, because we know that God manifests himself through his word. So we're more comfortable saying memra dashem rather than just like the word of God, rather than even. So we sort of compromise and we go miyad memra dashem, from the hand of the word of God, namely through, it becomes like through the word of God, miyad memra dashem, rather than yad Hashem. So that additional depth that we can get with the verse when we recognize the problems that the Hebrew gives us, namely this Ha-Elohim Ha-Adirim, which suggests that the Philistines were still recognizing many gods. So the rabbis resolved that, and also this idea of the hand of God, that we don't speak of God in terms of human features, or we have difficulty with that. So anyway, a little bit of extra depth to the translation, and a little bit more ability to work through the verses. That gets us right up to till 2030. It was a small class, but it was a beautiful class. And Gideon, welcome. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to greet you.
Thank you, no problem.
Everybody, it was my dad's birthday.
Yes, yesterday was my birthday.
Yeah, yesterday it was your birthday, yes.
And anyway, have a beautiful night. I offer you birthday blessings. A day late, but